Before we do jump into today's build guide video for Marvel Future Revolution, huge thanks for all the support on the previous video. That was for Doctor Strange, a build I'm actually really enjoying, but the support we got from it has been pretty amazing. It's managed to break 10,000 views in just 3 days, so that's really awesome and I do appreciate it. Today we'll be looking at a really fun tanky brawler build for Captain Marvel. This is the one I used on the soft launch server. I really do like this setup. Now, the format of the video, we start off with an overview. I'll get into a bit more detail on the build, so that way you can see if you like the sounds of it. You can keep watching. The next section we cover, it's the skills that you're using for the build. We have the potential next, so this is which ones you want to actually prioritise. Specializations are up next, and then we finish off the video with a selection of outfits, battle badges and a mega cards that work well with the build that we've just shown off. So let's jump in. We'll start off with the overview first. So the goal with this build then is to get as high uptime as you can possibly get on the buff that comes with her ultimate ability. That buff will offer you around about a 50% damage increase and complete crowd control immunity, which is just absolutely exceptional. You can, I imagine, get 100% uptime with this as well. I'm very close to it myself, and I'm someone that doesn't really spend in the game at all, and I would say I've probably, when I get my rotation rate, I probably get around about 90% uptime in having the buff. Now, alongside that, there's 2 sets of skills you can really use with Captain Marvel. One is more about the cosmic energy skills, which are your beams, and the second one is your light speed movement skills. It's actually the light speed movement skills that I will be showing off today. So that is a quick overview. Let's jump in and we'll actually break down the skills I'm using now. So I would say then, in regards to our abilities, all 5 of these are locked in for this build. Sometimes when I do a build guide I'll maybe recommend 3 or 4 abilities, but really I'd say all 5 of these are essential. This first one is incredible for getting high uptime on your ultimate. You can see I've got it up at level 20 and it recovers ultimate gauge by 22.35%. That will be boosted even further via specializations that we'll look at in a moment. We've then got a nice damage ability here. I'm using this for the damage it does over a wide area, but also you can see the guard break is highest, so that's really useful in PvE and also against your bosses. We've then got an incredible defensive ability. This one here increases defense and it's close to 50%, 47.68% for 8 seconds there, and it's close to around about 50% uptime we're actually getting on that as well. Now, next up, we then have this ability here. It decreases defense by close to 45% for 5 seconds when the skill lands. The reason I've got this here in my rotation is the next skill we actually have, you can see it's doing close to a whopping 3000% damage. This is a beam attack. It's got 3 phases to it. Absolutely melts enemies and it tracks them as well, and if you defeat an enemy it will then start tracking a new one. This is absolutely incredible. With this as well, you'll want to try and line up using your ultimate ability for the additional 50% damage increase you actually get from it, and then you will use, let's jump back here, you'll use skill number 4, so you decrease the defense by close to 45%, and then you follow up with this particular ability here. We also use skill number 3 just before it, because what happens is you've got that additional 50% defense, so while you're using the beam attack you're a bit of a sitting duck, but this means I can even tank the likes of Maestro and his thunderclap. I can just stand in that and I can just use the beam attack and melt him, and I really don't take much damage at all. Now, because it is so important for the build, let me just actually quickly show off the ultimate ability. So this is the ultimate here, Binary Eruption. Max it out as soon as you can. You can see you become immune to damage and debuffs for 3 seconds, so that's full crowd control immunity, which is incredible. And I think at a later date with certain content they may bring out where enemies have a lot of crowd control, this will just make it so easy. And also you can see I'm just shy of 50%. Their attack increases 49.66%. We've got, it will knock back, it does guard break, and then it does that whopping 1460% damage as well. So absolutely amazing, and you'll near enough be able to spam this every 30 seconds or so with the right setup. So that's the skills. Let's talk about the potential next. For these next few sections, then what I'll do is I'll bring up some infographics. It makes it a lot easier to explain what you're actually looking for in each of the sections. Now, your potential, you're not going to max this out for a long time on a character, so you want to prioritise certain stats. The one I would say that are a priority would be your attack, your defence and your hit points. You have more specific stats for each character. For Captain Marvel, she's got stamina recovery, defense pierce, and also guard damage decrease. The one that I would go for out of these would be defense pierce. I just find I don't have any need for stamina recovery. I'm never really running out of stamina. Now, with this section, because it's relating to stats, I'll also mention as well in other places of her kit, that can be through her cards or cores and her outfits, you get additional bonus stats. You really want to look out for ultimate skill gauge recovery, and you want to look out for cooldown decrease. Your cooldown decrease allows you to spam that ability that actually gives you your ultimate skill gauge, and then obviously your ultimate skill gauge recovery means it goes up even quicker. So that is the potential. Let's talk about the specializations now. For the specializations, I would say there's 3 that are absolutely locked in and you must go for. The 4th one is down to you, but I'll run over a few suggestions as to what one you could use. The 3 that are locked in, you've got Energy Enhancement, increases attack by 20% when the battle lasts for 6 seconds. Any decent battle really at late game will last longer than 6 seconds. You've then got Photon Field Enhancement, increases duration of self-granted buffs by 35%. That increases the defensive shield you put on yourself, and it increases the buff from your ultimate as well, which is really important for getting that 100% uptime. You've then got Energy Conversion, increases ultimate skill gauge recovery by 50% when your hit points are 50% or higher. Now with this, it actually works alongside the Crashdown ability we had that increases your skill gauge, so that was giving you around about 22% additional skill gauge. With this skill, it will give you an additional 50% on top of that, so every time you use that ability, an absolute minimum, you'll be increasing your skill gauge by around about 33%, which is absolutely incredible. That's the 3 that are locked in. In regards to other options that are available, for survivability, you've got 1 or 2 options. You've got Battle Awakening, which is a revive essentially when you get defeated, and then you've got Photon Absorption. This recovers your dodge gauge by 40%. That's your entire gauge, so essentially when you use a Lightspeed movement skill and we have 3, you'll gain a dodge back, so this can give you a ton of survivability. And Battle Awakening will only actually work in certain modes, whereas Photon Absorption will work in all of them. So it's down to you which one of the 2 you actually want to go for. Personally, if I had to pick one over the other, I would go for the Photon Absorption for the additional dodges and the iframes that come alongside it. But that is the specializations. Let's talk about the outfits now. With the outfits here, then we always break it into non-regional and regional, because your regional sets take an absolute age. So in the short term, you want to farm a non-regional up to 5-star, and then eventually you can use that as fodder to take your regional up to 6-star. The one I would go for would be the Carol Corpse outfit. This is buffing Photon Blast. That was that incredible beam ability she's got, so go for that in the short term. In the long term, what you want to aim for is the Xanderf outfit. You can see this one here, the 4-set bonus is buffing your Lightspeed movement class skills by +6, so that's giving that ultimate skill gauge recovery one an additional 6, and bear in mind as well with the specialisation from a moment ago, you get that extra 50% on the increase that you're actually gaining as well. So yeah, this is what you really want, and you'll definitely be pushing towards the 100% uptime on the ultimate buff. So that's the outfits. Let's now talk about the battle badges. With the battle badges, the first set you always want to farm, because it's the most accessible one, will be your Maestro Blitz. This will give you your super villain damage, meaning when you do your Blitz and your Rage, you'll be able to do them a lot quicker. Now, late game, once you actually don't really need that additional super villain damage and you're heading into the Dark Zone, if you've not yet got 100% uptime on your ultimate buff, then I would go for Growing Pain. That's the one in the middle, it's the yellow jacket. You can see it increases your ultimate skill gauge recovery there. So that is the battle badges. Let's talk about the Omega cards now. For the Omega cards, we actually break this into 2 infographics. One is more your free-to-play players, and the second one we look at is more for your whales, because as special cards you can only get via card draws, exceptionally hard to get. For Captain Marvel, I would recommend Xander 4. This one you can actually buy for 2,000 crystals in the store, so if you're maining her, snap that up. To be honest, snap it up, even if you're not maining her, it is a great set. It's really the 4-set bonus that works fantastic for us. You've got the ultimate skill gauge recovery there. You've got 2 slots left for cards. The one I would probably go for, because she is a melee character and she's in the enemy's face, I would go for the Sakaar 2. So this one here, the cards I would look out for would probably be the ones that offer attack, and you're just using 2 of them, but that gives you your additional dodge rate there. Dodge is an absolutely fantastic stat in game. So that's the cards I would recommend for free to play players. Let's look at the more whale based set now. Looking at these sets of cards here then, I reckon I would still use the Sandaire 4. I would use 4 of the cards, which leaves 2 more cards. Now Dark Zone 4 looks to be perfect, to be honest. One of the cards you can actually get ultimate skill gauge recovery on it, so that's fantastic as a primary stat on a card, and the 2 set bonus will be additional attack for you. So that's that mega cards I would actually go for it, and with that, that's actually the guide finished. Now, as always, if the video has been helpful, please do take the time to hit the like, share and subscribe button. I've already done a guide for Doctor Strange. I will do guides for the remaining characters. Let me know in the comments below which character you would actually like to see next, and thanks for tuning in for this. Stay safe, and I'll see you all again soon.